now entering the second week of the preseason for the Dallas Cowboys, and we're halfway to the start of the regular season against Tampa Bay, 23 days to be exact. A couple hours after this video posts, we're going to be playing the Arizona Cardinals in our second preseason game. There is a couple things we need to look out for and a couple things that I want to see so that we can try to determine how this roster is going to be shaped up. Now, in case you're wondering how to watch it, because this isn't going to be on national television, if you have the NFL Network as a part of your cable package, or if you have it as a subscription service, or however you get it, you'll be able to watch this game at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's very late because it's a West Coast game. Very cool. So, with that being said, before I get into the specifics of what we need to watch out for, if you could, make sure to leave a like on this video. It helps the channel perform well in YouTube's algorithm, and specifically this video. If you haven't already, subscribe so you can receive more Dallas Cowboys content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on new content when it drops. Now, as we're well aware of, we do have some things that we noticed in the previous game, that being against the Steelers, that we saw, and we want to see who can build on that and who can improve. Now, the first thing I'm looking at is the backup quarterback position. Ben DiNucci did not really look particularly well. He looked terrible in the sense of, hey, he really needs to step up compared to what Garrett Gilbert did, and he did very well. If you are the backup quarterbacks for the Cowboys, now's the time to really shine. Cooper Rush did not look terrible whatsoever. He looked decent, but the one thing that I really, as my main takeaway, is that Garrett Gilbert's your number 2 guy, okay? Now, the question is are the Cowboys going to go with 3 quarterbacks? And my guess is no. However, if Ben DiNucci wants to stay on this roster as a practice squad member, whoever the case may be, he's going to really need to step it up, because honestly, he's just proven to me he doesn't even deserve the roster spot. He's only there as just the arm talent for, the training camp. So, but with that being said, I'm really looking forward to see how they approach the game with the backups. I understand that Dak Prescott had a second MRI, and again, that is nothing to be worried about. If you have been paying attention, the Cowboys have been doing their best to hold Dak back from going too hard at the practices. So, keep in mind that there's going to be some idiots that think that, it's a bad thing. No, there are some people, that want to say it's a big issue. It really isn't. It's just precautionary, and also mainly to keep Dak Prescott out of the practices. But, with that being said, that's what I'm looking at to start off. Now, Rico Dowdle, I'm looking at him because I want to see if he can continue to do well. I really would like for him to be a third running back option on this team. And I'm going to be very excited to see him perform well. I mean, I want to see him do well. We need to have more options outside of Tony and Zeke. Now, for Sewell, I believe if I recall, he suffered an injury that could put his roster spot in jeopardy. I don't want to go with that fully because, unfortunately, there hasn't been a whole lot of information that I was able to look at. So, whatever I say here, take with a grain of salt. But Rico does have a chance to make this roster, most definitely. He just has to continue his play because he showed that he can be versatile. Now, for wide receivers, more specifically, I'm looking at the bottom 3. I think that, you're going to have to make a decision with Cedric Wilson, Noah Brown, and Malik Turner. Are you going to roll with those 3 guys? Are you going to carry 6 wide receivers? You might have to do that. I do think that either Cedric Wilson or Noah Brown, I'm more leaning towards Cedric Wilson to make the roster. And I think Malik Turner is going to make the roster because of his special teams play and just overall what he's able to do. I mean, when he had the chances, he was making plays. He just had the one hiccup where he fumbled the ball. Now, for Simi Fehoko, if he really wants to make this roster, he needs to step it up. There hasn't been a whole lot of him really performing well, and that's not his fault concerning the quarterbacks that he's working with, but if he wants to make this roster, he needs to, stand out and do his part. Because I don't see him right now making this roster based how the other guys are playing. And we look at, a couple of the other guys like, TJ Vasher, we don't care about that. But my main thing is that, look, Simi is the guy we took this year, obviously in this year's draft, so he's going to have that spotlight for him to perform well. Just being completely honest with you. So that's something I'm looking for. Can Simi bounce back? Because he has a lot of ground to make up if he wants to try and make this roster. Offensive line, you know, I want to see more configurations. I want to see if Connor Williams is going to take some more snaps at center. Especially with the first team. I don't know what they're going to look like, so I'm looking at this first team offensive line and seeing what they're going to roll with. And I would really like to see if, you know, if they continue to roll with Tyler Biadasz as the starting center, or do we see Connor Williams out there? I mean, we might see a different configuration from the start of the Hall of Fame game. So I'm looking at the offensive line. Defensively speaking, I want to just see more of these safeties. I want to see... you know, I want to see, you know, DeMonte Casey. I want to see Malik Hooker. We need to see these guys play because we need to evaluate what we have at the safety position. And, you know, that's something that we need to figure out quickly before we just get caught with our pants down and we're screwed. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the safety position is doing. Cornerbacks, I want to see if, you know, Nashawn Wright can continue his really good play. You know, he's someone that's been making a push. And Anthony Brown, he's got to do better. You know, he did have limited action, but he really didn't look particularly well. And Jordan Lewis, he needs to make sure that he's doing his part too. I know a lot of you told me that, hey, you know, another guy to look out for is Jordan Lewis. And, you know, they did give him the contract, but that doesn't mean anything. But, yeah, all 110% true. So there is that. Linebacker-wise, I'm not sure what they're going to do with Micah and these other young guys. Again, because the preseason's a bit different, I don't know how things are going to go about with that. So, I'm looking at these linebackers, more specifically with Luke Gifford. Is Francis Bernard going to be doing his thing? You know, because, again, these are guys that, hey, it's a crowded room. You got to make plays or you're gone. So, and defensive line speaking, you know, I want to see if they're going to have Randy Gregory get some snaps. You know, are we going to see... you know, any more of the younger guys and, you know, stuff like that. Is Tristan Hill going to make an appearance? So that's something we got to keep an eye out on. But otherwise, there's nothing much more to say than, hey, we got to just see what happens this game. Haven't heard any specific news on what's going to happen. That might come about after this video post, so just be aware of that. And yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys after the game with a post-game video, just reviewing what I saw. And yeah, you have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.